All right, guys, welcome back again to the channel. So, the latest coming out from the NFF's headquarters is that they will be entrusting Coach Eric Shell to continue to be the head coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria for the foreseeable future. We have qualifiers games in the World Cup series coming up next month, the two last games. Even though it's almost impossible right now for we to qualify, there's still just very little hope for that one. But again, beyond that, in December, we have the African Cup of Nations, the competition properly, which of course we had qualified a few months ago. So it seems that the NFF will entrust Coach Eric Shell to continue to be the coach even up until December when the Nations Cup is going to be played. A statement came out recently. One of NFF's technical committee members spoke with the media where he said that you know um, they don't have the intention of actually dropping or dismissing Coach Eric Shaw because of what's happening, in the World Cup qualifying series. He actually even said that when they employed the coach, they knew what was already on ground. They knew that his job was not going to depend on qualifying Nigeria for the World Cup 2026 because obviously that was already in danger before they gave him the job. So it was not part of it. But he also said that if the coach goes on to qualify the team to the World Cup, then he's going to trigger an automatic renewal of the contract for next 2 years. So if he eventually qualifies, which is almost impossible, then NFF, will automatically renew his contract for the next 2 years. It doesn't matter what happens in the African Cup of Nations, he's going to get an extra 2 years extension. That's what this NFF official has come out to say. Um, as I always do, I'm just going to read it word for word. This NFS official came out and told conventional sports news media, and he said in his words, Eric Shell's future won't be decided by Super Eagles qualifying for the World Cup or not. We all know the situation where we were in before he was appointed. So far, he has done better than the previous two coaches who started the campaign in Joseph Posero and Finidi George, respectively. The first part of his contract ends in October, which is at the end of the qualifiers. We, the NFF, will analyze the manner with which we made it to the World Cup or not before taking a decision. But qualifying for the World Cup will trigger an automatic extension of his contract for 2 more years. So this is what the NFF's man has come out to say about Kucherik Shell's job, thereby, dispelling rumors about Kucherik Shell getting fired, ASAP, or rumors that Kucherik Shell is not going to be the man at the helm when Super Eagles, play in the African Cup of Nations in December. So it's very likely we are going to continue with Kucherik Shell. And for me personally, I think this is going to be a very important decision for the Super Eagles, as a team, because obviously if there's something that has been lacking in that helm is consistency, continuity. We've not actually seen a coach that has stayed, in that position for a really long time and had all the time to work and develop a squad, to his taste, to his philosophy. I think the last person we saw that was given enough time and he, obviously performed, was Coach General Raw, who's currently the coach of the Benin Republic side. I think personally, General Raw is still one of the best coaches that we've had, in the Super Eagles setup. But that's what's happening. You guys think this is a good idea for we to stick with Coach Eric Shaw, considering what he's done, the matches that he's played so far. He has not lost any game, as a Super Eagles head coach. Let's put that into consideration. He's played a total four qualifiers, right? Yeah, one, two, drawn two, and win percentage is around 67, which is obviously very good. Uh, when you compare him with the previous coaches that we've had. the World Cup qualifying series, we've had like three different coaches who handled all of the eight matches that we've played so far. Is it eight? Yeah, eight matches so far. Finidi George handled two of the games, lost one, drew one, and then we had Coach Giuseppe Posero handle two as well. He drew two of those games. So statistically, Eric Shell is still better than these previous coaches who have handled this position because he has won two and then drawn two and hasn't lost anything so far. So that's basically what's happening. So we are going to be seeing Coach Eric Shell at the helm based on what this NFF's official has come out to tell us. But let's move on, guys, and let me let you know that the NFF has now agreed an international friendly match that will be coming up just few weeks before the African Cup of Nations kicks off. So this is going to be the official friendly match in preparation for the Nations Cup in December. And this match is going to be against Venezuela, Nigeria versus Venezuela, coming up on the 14th of November to be played in Houston, USA. So this is what's happening right now at the Shell Energy Stadium in USA. So the real question now is Venezuela actually a strong enough side to test our boys ahead of the Nations Cup in December? That is the really big question to ask ourselves right now. Of course, Venezuela failed to qualify to the World Cup, so they themselves as a team, they are not exactly at the top, at the top of their game. They are not exactly the best, I would say, competitors to challenge ourselves right now, you know. But that's what's going to happen. It's been officially announced right now by NFF. The last time we played Venezuela was back in 2012. We won that game 3 goals to 1. Goals scored by Brown Ideye, Nosa Igebo, and Ogenyi Onazi. These were the 3 goal scorers back in 2012. So, we'll see what happens. Of course, it's still, a couple of months before we get to that one. But obviously, we will need to really prepare ourselves, test ourselves before we go properly into the Nations Cup. Remember, this Nations Cup is a competition that we have to win because the last time we went, to play it, we almost won it, scored a goal, and then lost from behind. So this time around, going into the Nations Cup tournament, we have to go with the mindset of going one extra step, which is obviously winning the title. And for a lot of these guys, this is going to be their final chance of actually winning a proper silver with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. The likes of Chus Ekong, maybe Alex Iwobi, um, Moses Simon as well, and a couple of other guys. So this is going to be a do or die affair for a lot of these players, to win something important for the country. Well, let's move on, guys, and let's talk about a really sad one right now, and it's the fact that Ola Aina has sustained an injury that's going to keep him out for the next 3 months. Right now, that injury came up against South Africa. If you recall, he was substituted early on in the first half after he picked up a hamstring injury. Right now, the Nottingham Forest medical team has confirmed now that he will be coming out earliest in December. So there will be lots of games that this man will miss. He'll miss a lot of Nottingham Forest matches. He'll miss the final 2 games in the World Cup qualifying series and potentially could be missing the starting phases of the African Cup of Nations games up in December. But we wish the man all the best, quick recovery and to come back stronger and better. And of course, this weekend we are very excited to see a lot of Super Eagles players make appearances in the EPL. Talked about it previously. Samuel Chukwueze already started training with the Fulham Football Club. He's been selling really well, vibing vibing well with his brothers Iwobi and Kevin Bassett. They've been making life really easy for him, in this Fulham side. So it's going to be very interesting. They have a game tomorrow. We also have Uche Santos who has started training as well. Tolari Godari as well resumed training for the first time, for Wolves. So it's going to be very interesting to see the weekend's game. All of these guys have games on Saturday with their club sides. So it's a chance for them to feature for the first time for these clubs. And then to Ademola Lookman, of course, he has returned back to Atlanta, where he's had one, two, three, four issues here and there. In fact, coming to represent Nigeria for the World Cup qualifiers was actually something that he needed just to breathing some fresh air outside of his club because of all of the OKRs that has been going on. But he has now returned back, and the good news is that the club do not want to fight anymore with him. They, in fact, have said that they will not be pressing any charges or punishments or whatsoever for his attitude for what he had done, previously by missing training, going on strike and things like that. So Atlanta are trying to run some tests on him to decide if he's fit enough to actually make appearance for their game coming up on Sunday. They have a game against Leeds, and if everything goes well, Lukman could be in line to make appearance for the first time in several months for his Atalanta side against Leeds Football Club. We wish the man all the best, and of course, we'll keep tabs on him and all of the other players for their club sides.